I'm dreading it. It sounds so bad. You need to listen to this. So this is my 350Z. Or should I say, was my 350Z. I bought this super high mileage example to use as a daily driver, but also to build on my YouTube channel for you guys at home to enjoy too. And while we're helping Matt film a video, well, I'm feeling a bit emotional, so I might let him tell you.
Now at this point, whilst we had the airfield, we were going to have a little race between two 6-cylinder cars. The BMW M3, the straight 6, and Chris's V6 350Z. Both sort of similar power as well, 300 brake and 340 brake. Unfortunately, Chris's engine has started knocking.
It has.
He is hoping though that oil fixes it, because what didn't you have in your car?
I think there's one thing an engine needs, right, but it's running, and I think it's oil, so...
And it had no oil in it.
So I think this needs a little more context. I bought the car, as I said, about 3 months ago, and in that time I haven't used it loads. I've probably done about 12 or 1300 miles, which isn't a lot, I'm sure we can all agree. And in that time, I've done a few modifications. I've recoloured the interior, retrimmed the steering wheel and the headlining, refurbished the wheels, painted the brakes, split the headlights, all a few aesthetic things to make the car a little more personal to me. I'm not going to try and blame what happened to the car on anyone or anything but myself. But in my defence, I did check the oil level when I purchased the car, and it had also just been serviced. I think I did check it as well on the first drift day, but also, not in my defence, I hadn't checked it after that. I did find it quite strange that the 350Z didn't have an oil level light. It seems like a huge oversight from Nissan, especially when those engines apparently are known to burn oil, as I found out a few days before from Bob at Tarmac Sports. Maybe that was a sign. Maybe I was supposed to check my oil level that day when I was told, but I didn't, and what's happened. But like I said, it does seem strange for the engine to burn so much oil in such a short space of time and such a little amount of mileage. And given that a new engine costs nearly exactly the same as what I paid for the car, I don't think it's going to be viable or economical for any sane person to fix this car. But luckily for you, I am no sane person. Now, I'm fully aware that this is my fault, and I'm an idiot, I'm a doofus, I'm a moron. So if you're going to leave a comment in the comment section saying something like that, then you're an absolute... Continuing on from my original point, we've got 4 options on what we can do here. The first one is pretty boring and probably the most sensible one, which is going to be to break the car for parts and get the money back from the car in that way. I know some of the parts on the 350Z are worth some pretty decent money, and I probably would make back more than what I paid for the car, even with a blown engine. The pros for that are it's a financially sensible decision, and it does deal with my problem, but the cons are it's no good for content, so it's no good for you guys to watch at home. So that one is pretty rubbish option in my eyes. Now my second option is reconditioning or rebuilding the engine. Now the pros for this are it's better for content, and also it's potentially essentially a brand new engine once the rebuild's done. Now the cons are that you don't know the condition of the engine until you take it apart, at which point you've already removed it from the car. So it could be quite a simple rebuild, or it could have took out so many other things that you weren't expecting, meaning the price of the rebuild could rocket through the roof. And also as well, the time, it's quite a time consuming process that I wouldn't necessarily be able to film all of, which means it may not be as great for content as some of the other options. Option number 3 is buy a replacement engine that's currently working, probably with a warranty on it, and remove and refit the engine in one sitting. You can probably get this done over a weekend or so. Now the pros for this are that you've got a working engine with a warranty, it's much quicker to do, and also as well, I can probably get pretty stuck in on doing that. But the cons are, it's still a used engine, so whatever's out there, it's still going to have some miles on it, and you don't know the condition of that engine unless you take it apart. If you're going to do that, you may as well rebuild it, so it's a bit of an unknown. Now option number 4 is to do something a bit different, which would be an engine swap. Now, there's definitely much more reliable engines out there and more powerful engines too, so that is quite a serious contender. Now, cons for this mainly is time and money. Now, I've done an engine swap before and it took absolutely ages to do. So to do an engine swap on the side of my full-time job is going to be a hell of a task. So either it's going to be very, very time consuming and a very lengthy process, which isn't great for filming on, meaning that progress would be slow and there wouldn't be much content to show you guys, which would make the video very, very staggered, or very, very expensive if I was to pay someone else to do it for me. So there's quite a few options that I could consider doing at the moment. Now, I do not want to break the car, I'll be honest with you. I don't want to give up on a project. I think even at the end of it, no matter which route I take, I think I'll still have a pretty solid car, especially considering I have a much newer engine than what the car is, if that makes any sense. So there is definitely a few things that we can do, and I don't think it's going to be the end of the 350Z unless things go catastrophically wrong. So let me know in the comment section anyway what you would choose to do if this was your car. You'd probably say scrap it or do a Chris delete or whatever it may be, just let me know. So I suppose now we need to go and have a listen to the car and have a listen to that blown engine. I'm dreading it, it sounds so bad, you need to listen to this. So I'm hoping you guys at home can pick that up off the mic on the camera. Fingers crossed you can hear it, but it's not sounding healthy and I want to try and avoid starting it and driving it at all costs. So RIP to my bank account, we've got to get this sorted. So that is it for this time. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're still going to do something with this car. I refuse to be defeated. Smash a like on the video. One like equals one prayer. And I'll catch you next time.